again. How are you guys? Sorry that we haven't gotten to science in a little while, but we are on it today. So we've been talking about what science is. Science is simply the study of God's world, which is what we're exploring as we go through our science book. We talked about the fact that scientists are just those people that study and look at those things. God gave us all just a natural curiosity to know how things work and where things belong and all of that. And he provided a lot of answers, not all of the answers, but a lot of the answers that we can look at. And we said there's a thing called the scientific method that we can use where we observe what's going on. We ask questions about it. We form a good guess, a hypothesis. Then we experiment and figure out the data and write it down. And then we figure out the results. We come up with a conclusion with that data and we figure those things out. So we talked about that fact that we can use all of those things. And then we started talking in chapter 2 just about energy. Energy is what? Remember, the ability to do work. That's what energy is. It's the ability to do work. And there's energy that we get from so many different things. There's solar energy, there's wind energy, there's fuel energy. There's so many different types of energy that we are able to see at work. We get it from light, from heat, from sound, and then, like we said, solar energy, fuel energy, water energy, all of those different types of energy that we have all throughout our world. Well, today we're on page 19. And we're going to be talking about waiting and working energy. Waiting energy is stored energy, and working energy is energy that is constantly being used. And so when I like to think of waiting energy or stored energy, I simply think of, did you see it? You got to watch carefully. I simply think of something, there it goes. I think of these little poppers. Now, a couple of you got those as rewards for me one time, but when I think of these poppers, I think of waiting energy and working energy, because when it's down like this, it's waiting. Up, and then it's working energy. The minute that it pops up, that second that it pops up, then it's working energy, and it's got that little coil in there. You can see the coil inside. That helps to create that with the suction, that waiting energy, and then that energy that's no longer waiting, it's not stored, it's being used. So look at page 19 with me. It says we can find energy in two forms, waiting energy or working energy. Energy can be stored, and that's what happens when I press this down. That energy is stored in there until that suction loosens, and then that stored energy allows that to pop up with that spring inside. It is waiting to be used. A stack of firewood is ready to be used or burned in a fireplace to warm your home. That stack of firewood right there is waiting energy. It's not doing anything yet. It's just waiting energy. But when you bring it into your home and when you burn it in your fireplace or wood stove or whatever, then it is working energy. Once the firewood begins to burn, it is now working energy. Can you tell what kind of energy is produced? Remember, we talked about all those kinds of energy? Yes, I heard some of you because you're so smart and nothing goes past you. It is heat energy. So if you guessed heat energy, you are absolutely correct. Give yourself a big pat on the back. When we burn that firewood, it goes from waiting or stored energy to heat energy. Can you remember some kinds of fuel energy? Fuel is also waiting energy. And I remember Elise was one of the ones that told us we use fuel to run a car. Yeah, and she was exactly right. Remember, the gasoline in your family car is stored and waiting to be burned. When that car is sitting in the driveway, what kind of energy is that? That's what it is. It's waiting energy because it's not burning, it's not running. So it's waiting energy, waiting for mom or dad, not you, you're too little, don't even try. Waiting for mom or dad to come out, put the key in the ignition and turn so that it becomes now working energy. When the car's engine is started, the fuel burns and becomes that working energy. Do you see the spring that helps this playground toy work? So you see that playground toy, it has a spring like this one. It's a little different, but if we had that, that's what that spring will do on that playground toy. Have you guys ever been on one of those? You lean forward and back and it just kind of goes back and forth. So on that playground toy, she's not going to pop up. Don't worry. She's just going back and forth. That's what the spring is doing there. It's not the same as our little pop-up toy. She's not going to go down and then boop, go into the air. But that spring is weighting energy. A spring can store weighting energy. If you push on a spring and hold it, it has stored energy. So when she rocks forward, it's weighting energy until it pushes back, and then that's weighting energy until it moves and works to go forward again. So if you push on a spring and hold it, it has stored energy. It now has the ability to spring back. As it bounces back, it is now working energy. A basketball stores energy in the same way. When you bounce it, it stores weighting energy for the next bounce. So you bounce it, and then it stores the energy, and you bounce it again, working energy, and it stores it again. When you are waiting at the top of the slide, your body now has that stored energy. But as you begin to slide down the slide, that weighting energy turns into working energy. Top of the slide, weighting energy. Going down the slide, working energy. Easy, right? Easy to remember those. So look at the pictures on page 21. Which pictures show weighting energy and which pictures show working energy? So you need to have a pencil so that you can fill this in, okay? So you're gonna fill in the answers, working or weighting for each of those. So you can look and you see the machines there, the smoke pipes billowing. You can look there. What kind of energy is that? Is that weighting energy or working energy? Well, if you're thinking about it, when you see the smoke, that steam coming out, what is it doing? It's working. Very good. Because if it wasn't working, if it was weighting energy, what wouldn't we see? We wouldn't see any of the smoke. It would just be a bunch of metal just standing there, right? But because you see the smoke and things billowing out of there, that is working energy. Very good if you got that. What about the second one? You see that solar panel there? It's collecting that energy, weighting energy. When is it going to be working energy, do you think? Some of you thought it through so carefully. It's going to be working energy at night when the sun is gone, and then it can help to put that energy into the house or whatever it needs to put that energy into. Very good. What about the third one? What is that? You see, it's a stove, right? It's a stove. What kind of energy? Because there's fire, it is working energy. Good job. Now this one we already know because we just talked about it before. Firewood is weighting energy. Very good. What about the next picture? What is that anyway? Do some of you know? I think I heard some of you say it. It's coal, okay? And coal is what we also use to burn for energy, for fuel and all of that. What is that then? That's going to be the same as firewood until it's put into the process where it's burning. It's weighting energy. So that's also weighting energy. What about the next picture? That light bulb is on, so it is working energy. And the last one, it's not just sitting there, right? What is it doing? It's going around the track. So what is that? That is also working energy. So we've got our working energy and our weighting energy. A lot of our energy just waits for it to be used, and then once it's used, then it becomes that working energy. And that's the difference between them. All right, So we're going to practice our scientific method on page 22 with working and waiting energy. How can we use stored energy to make a toy car move without pushing it? Well, I don't have a toy car here, but I do have a little plank and a stack of books, and we're gonna look and we're gonna see what we do. So first thing, and I have a marker that we're gonna use in the place of the toy car. We have to observe and ask questions. Giving something stored energy gives it the ability to move, true or false. So if we give it stored energy, because this by itself is just there, but if I give it, I have to push it to give it stored energy, does that give it the ability to move? That is true. Yes, that is true. So giving something that stored energy allows it the ability to move. What could be a good way to store energy in a toy car? How do we store energy in a toy car? Because if I want the toy car to move without me pushing it, how else am I going to get it to move? What can I do? Because I don't want to, like, I had to manipulate this to get it to move, but I want to get the toy car to move without me, pushing it along. So how would I get that to move? Let's like I said, we're going to use a marker. How do I get this marker to move? What could I do to make it move? If I lowered my book, right, it would slide. So if we had like a plank or something for it to go down, if I went outside to the slide and I rolled it down the slide, then it would be able to move, right? So that's what we have. We have something for the marker to slide down. So we're going to form a hypothesis. What is a hypothesis? A good guess. Let's think about this. Giving a toy car a flat surface will give it weighting energy, or giving a toy car something to slide down will give it weighting energy. So which one are you going to circle? If I give it something to slide down, so giving a toy car or giving a marker something to slide down, that gives it weighting energy. Because right now, yes, my marker has weighting energy, but if I don't change my book and I don't change the level of my book, it's just going to stay here, okay? It's just going to stay weighting, okay? When I have my marker sitting in the chalk tray, I mean, it's not being used. It's not going to go anywhere because I'm not giving it any stored energy. So I have to give it that stored energy, okay? Does that make sense? So when we give this something to slide down, that's when it has weighting energy and will soon become working energy. So we're going to experiment and gather data. We're going to place the car on a flat surface, or place the pen marker on a flat surface without pushing it. Let's see what happens. Whee! There it goes. Watch it. It's going so fast. Look at it go. No, it's on a flat surface. I'm not supposed to help it along, so it's going to stay there. It's not got weighting energy because there's no stored energy in it. It's just flat, okay? So you're going to write down the results. What happens when we place a marker on a flat surface? Write down right next to it in the, you can write it in your book. We're going to have probably papers that we're going to write it on. I might even just buy you guys like little notebooks so you can really be scientists. I know, James, you said you like to write things down and pretend like you're a scientist. I might try to get you some notebooks so that you guys can really feel like scientists and write this information down. But the first thing you're going to write down is flat surface, no stored energy at all, because it's not moving. It's not going anywhere. And remember, I can't manipulate it. I can't move it. It has to go on its own. So the only way that's going to happen is if there's a way that I can make it go down and slide down something. So hold on a second, I'm gonna put you on pause and then try to maneuver the camera so that you can see what I'm going to do. All right, hold on one second. All right, so I know it's not really easy to see. I'll probably move the camera a couple of times just to make sure, but if you can look, I have a stack of books here, and I'm gonna take my marker and I'm gonna hold it at the top of this little ramp. I made a little ramp with one of my box tops, and I'm gonna place the marker at the top of this, and let's see what happens. I have stored energy, waiting energy, and when I release it, that is working energy, and look at how far it went. So when it has something to slide down, then what happens? It does have stored energy, waiting energy, that becomes working energy. Wait right there, I gotta show you one other thing. Now, if you can tell, it's a little bit shorter than it was last time because I took some of the books away and I made it a little bit closer to a flatter surface. Do you think that the marker is gonna roll just as fast and far as it did the first time? Or is it gonna roll slower and shorter than the first time? Let's check and see. So here I am. This is waiting energy, becoming working energy. Did you see that? It went almost as far, not quite as far, but it definitely was much slower that time than it was the first time. So when something is, there I am. When something is taller or higher, then you have a lot more of the stored energy, which means it's going to go further and it's going to go faster. So I hope that made some sense. So I'm gonna try from this angle maybe and see if I can get it to you again so that you can see see how it's gonna work. Okay, hold on. Sorry, I could have paused you so I didn't bring you all the way with me, but here we go. We're gonna try it again with our bigger stack of books. And let's see how we do. So we're gonna start here, waiting energy, whoa, and working energy. It came all the way to you guys. It's in the middle of the tripod stand right now. And let me quickly come back around so you can write in your notes off to the side that the higher the stack of books, the faster it goes, and the longer, the lower the stack of books. Let's try it. Almost came to you. It's getting there, but it was a lot slower and didn't go quite as far. So that shows that that working energy goes a lot faster and a lot quicker when it is, sorry, I'm really right in your face, when it is a higher plane, when it's a higher level for it to go down. So I hope that made sense. And we just use the scientific method to figure out what's our result. When you have something for it to slide down, you definitely have that stored energy at the top, and then the working energy as it works its way down. The higher the stack of what it's going down, the more working energy, the faster it goes, the lower, the slower, and it doesn't go as quickly. So, or it doesn't go as far either. So I hope that you enjoyed that just little simple experiment. But if you have toy cars at home, a slide, books, and a little ramp. Try that and see how it works. You do your own experiment and let me know. You can write in the comments. I've been getting all your comments on Google Classroom and YouTube all day, so feel free to send me comments. If you try it at home, let me know how it goes. All right, have a great rest of your day. Bye, guys.